Today's Swole Fam Spotlight is from Ash. What's going on, Beaches? Welcome to the Daily Swole Podcast, episode 2657. It is Tuesday, August the 15th, and Ash writes, Swolenormous and the fam, that's Papa Swolio and the fam, what up, Beaches, has helped me break through my years of desperation. I tried fat burner pills, starving myself, and so much more. Just when I about gave up on myself and ever trying to lose weight, I found Papa Swolio. The years of discipline I had to use to abstain from meat and the self-control I shifted to now focus on better quality foods and well-rounded fitness and health. This new lifestyle I've created has completely turned my life around, broke my depression, showed me what it's like to live without constant pain, and weight loss was not impossible. I have not only helped myself, but have become an inspiration to the students I teach in both health and discipline. I don't only want to do this for myself now, but all those who are watching me and inspired for themselves. So thank you for sharing, Ash. That's fantastic. Absolutely excellent. And that's absolutely right. Don't just do it for yourself, do it for those watching because other people are watching, but you're doing it for yourself primarily. You're doing it for yourself, and you should be doing it for yourself. And this is where it's not selfish, it's actually taking care of yourself. See the difference? When you take care of yourself, you're going to inspire other people to take care of themselves too. So focus on yourself first. Put on your oxygen mask first. Save yourself first so you could save other people. All right, don't sacrifice. It doesn't do anything beneficial. It doesn't do anything. It just massages your ego and makes you feel like a virtuous person. Oh, you're helping other people. You can, because you're a hypocrite or you're not healthy enough to actually help other people. So you have to lead by example. You can't just tell people what to do. People need to see actions. They do speak louder than words, and you have to focus on yourself. If you're a better person and you're a stronger person and you're a more resilient person, you're going to be better for all those around you, not just leading by example, but also being physically able to help those around you. So thank you so much, Ash. If you are ready to join Ash, myself, and the rest of the Swole fam, join us inside Swolenormous X. Go to swolenormousx.com and join the fam today. Memberships are available. And we have a bunch of different options to get access to all of our programs, yoga, nutrition, meditation, so much more, everything in one place. Stop looking endlessly on the internet and banging your head against a brick wall. But remember, you have to put in the work. So you have to be ready. We're ready for you if you're ready for us. Many of you are ready and some of you are not ready. And you might say to yourself, well, Papa Swole, I'm ready. I'm focusing. I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing these blah, blah, blah. Okay. We'll see you eventually. We'll see you eventually. A lot of you listen to the show for weeks or months and then eventually join and wish you did earlier. I agree. I wish you took action today. I wish you took action today because time flies. Time flies. It's already halfway through August. And people are already shifting into Halloween time, right? We released some new merch yesterday for Halloween. It's coming up on Fuck Your Resolution season. This is where we're at. All of a sudden, I feel like we're just talking about the new year and now we're coming up on the next one. And time goes like that. And it's going to continue to go like that. So you think in your head, we humans have this perception that when you're thinking about it, you mistake that for taking action, right? A lot of people are anxious all the time because they're thinking about the future. They're not living in the present. They're thinking. So they create all this internal tension because of something that hasn't even occurred yet, rather than taking action now. You're anxious about the future. You're thinking about next week. You're thinking about next month. What about today? And then there's always a future. There's always something else happening in the future, but you're missing out on today. You're missing out on the present. You're missing out on right now. So you're not taking action today. Just because you're thinking about taking action, that's not taking action. So don't get it fucking twisted. Just because it's in your head, oh, I'm going to start someday. Oh, I have this coming up and I'm going to. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I'm looking at this nutrition. I'm thinking about it. Oh, I don't have time. I have to work on the schedule. I'm waiting till little Timmy is back in school or blah, blah, blah. You're lying to yourself. You are full of shit. You're just making excuses. You're just procrastinating. You are full of shit. And once you realize you're full of shit, maybe then you'll take some action. I'm just trying to fast track you there so you don't waste more time. Well, thanks for being here, fam. Let's get into today's episode. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you are listening on the podcast. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and share the Mancast with your friends, people that need knowledge cock in their lives. If you're listening to this because someone sent this to you, that's because they're slapping you with some knowledge cock. Say thank you and take it all. What's up, Amanda, Steve, Adam? How are we doing? Elizabeth, Riley, Cerny, Jen, Michelle, Sheldon. How are we doing? Jennifer, let's get into today's episode 2657. The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
We need fat activism.
Radical acceptance.
Date a fat person.
Perfectly fine to be visibly fat.
Internalized fat phobia.
How about no?
I'm not afraid of fat.
Stop being such a huge fucking pussy.
Go to the fucking gym.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full alarm.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 2600 and 57 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer. It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
What's going on, beaches? How are we doing? Welcome to the show. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, all that good shit. Welcome, come one, come all. We have a great show for you today, so we're going to get right into it. Drop in the comments down below, what are you smashing today? It is August the 15th, and we are jumping right into it. We're fresh off our accountability meeting yesterday, so let's not waste a further moment. What are you smashing today? What hath you smashed? And let's summon the Falcon. Let's get today's party started. Falcon. Hashtag swole as fuck for a chance to win today's swole card. Drop that in the chat. Hashtag swole as fuck. All right. Swole AF. We also have a couple epic new releases. Let me just move a couple of these things around. Sometimes my computer, I don't know why it like closes all the windows that I had opened the night before. We have some new merch that we dropped, which is fucking fire. We also have a new yoga class that's available now. So big shit dropping yesterday. We announced Back to Swole, which is happening at the end of August. We'll talk more about that in a week or two. Signature series, you should be receiving your P3S7 soon. We have the next one coming up in just about 40 days or so. So there's a lot going on. Brand new merch over there at papaswolio.com. Use code Daily Swole for 10% off. The Nightmare Before Swolemas. This one is fucking lit. Nightmare Before Swolemas. Epic new merch. And we have so much more Halloween stuff dropping in the next couple weeks. So it's going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Great merch now available. So if you head on over to papaswolio.com, make sure you go to the new releases section, the new releases collection, and check out all the new drops because we're doing it pretty much all the time. Now let's get into that tip. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, we have a story. We have a little story here from Amit or Amit. Interesting name. Hey everyone, this is Amit. Glad to join you on this shared experience. Ooh, a shared experience. Never heard of it called that before. I like shared experiences. I've been hitting the gym consistently 3 to 4 times a week for over 17 years. That's half my life so far. I joined this community because I'm looking to overcome this sense of plateau where I feel I'm not able to gain muscle. I'm here to get swole, stay swole, and looking forward to learn together. Welcome. And I think we would recommend tremendously. We'd recommend. Oops. I'm here to get swole, stay swole, and looking forward to learn together. I opened up the stream on my phone. You will like Maximum Swole. I would check out that program if you're new to the fam and you are looking to get into a swole program. Check out Maximum Swole. That's an awesome one. It's an excellent program. We also have a post here from Zachary, and these are both from our discussion boards. Zachary writes, I'm Zach. This is my return to Swolenormous X. Zach hath returned. Since my last time here, my wife and I had our 3rd child, and I took a complete 4-year hiatus from fitness. I'm going to give you a Matt Damon. I got to. Since my last time here, my wife and I had our 3rd child, and I took a 4-year hiatus from fitness. This was my favorite program before my long break, so I am back now and ready to get moving. Photo from before my break below. Very nice. I think Zach is going to get back into it, and I'm not sure what program you're referring to. So if you did 4 years, what do we have available 4 years ago? We have many programs. So you may be talking about the 90-day dash. You might be talking about Scorched Earth or Swole Season. I'm not sure exactly when you left, but you're definitely going to love Maximum Swole too. So we have a bunch of programs, and Swolenormous X has dramatically changed and improved. We've added so much content in the last 4 or 5 years. So yeah, so much stuff. I mean, those of you that have been here for a few years, you know there's just so much more stuff. If you could just go back in time, it would look completely different. So welcome back to the fam, Zachary. We missed you. We've been making gains without you, but we're looking forward to making gains with you now too. Stay this time. Yeah, Sterling says stay this time. Don't be come on. Stay this time. Don't fuck off. All right, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up again. Okay, this is for Zachary or anyone else. Maybe the reason why you left, maybe the reason why you got unplugged is because you're just not getting enough knowledge cock. Now, I know I'm here every day, but maybe it's just not enough. Some of you are really sluts for it. So if you want more, or if you are just kind of new and you really, you're in desperate need of some, go to makeemailswoleagain.com and get my knowledge cock in your inbox. Now, you might be getting a lot of emails, a lot of promotions, a lot of spam, and you know, you're all stretched out. You don't notice when new emails come in. So it's time for a little inbox rejuvenation. I'll make it feel like 1993 again. You've got mail. You've got knowledge cock. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com and get stretched out today. Papa Swolio is going to take good care of that inbox. All right. We got a response here from, but it's the weekend. But it's Friday. But it's Saturday. From Andrew. And Andrew says, but why do they fall off, Papa? For most people, the weekend or their 2 days off in a row are spent around the house where their food is that they shopped for. But there is no 7-Eleven or gas bar quick snacks. It should be the good stuff you plan with. All right, let's try to translate that. Let me try to make sense of that. Why do they fall off? I told you why they fall off. They don't have habits. They don't have the proper habits. People fall off for all different reasons, but it's just because they aren't focusing on the most important things. They're not really setting good habits. They think they are, but they're not. So it depends. It depends. A lot of people have shit food in their house, or they surround themselves with shitty people. They go to a gym where they work. That's a huge problem. It's convenient when you're going to work. You drive, let's say half an hour, you go to the gym, shower, and then go right to work. But then what happens when you're not going to work? You're not going to drive half an hour to the gym because you associate that habit with going to work. You need to have something that you're doing. You know, if you don't have a gym, some people don't have an actual gym in their area. You need to get something at home or do yoga on the weekends. You need to set the same schedule. And people don't want to get up early on the weekends. You want to sleep in. Well, you need to get better sleep during the week so you're just rested. That's the problem. You're not getting sleep during the week and then you're trying to catch up. That's not really how it works. You can't really catch up on sleep. You're still getting all the negative side effects and the damage. You don't catch up that easily. You're chronically deprived. If you're chronically deprived of sleep 5 days a week, you're not catching up in 2 days. That doesn't really exist. So it's very important to keep the same schedule, keep the same focus. And honestly, it's just another day. That's why the programs in Swolenormous X say day 1 or day 2. They don't say Monday, Tuesday, because it doesn't really matter when you start. It doesn't really matter when you're training. It doesn't matter if a leg day is on Wednesday or Sunday. People are just making shit up in their head, reasons why they shouldn't do or don't have to do what they normally do. Remember, you're going to have those voices in your head that are always trying to pull the opposite direction. You're always going to have those voices. You have to have the stronger one and you have to take action. That's what discipline is. Discipline is doing shit that is inconvenient, doing things that you don't want to do, or doing things that you would rather do this, or, oh, you also like doing this, but you're going to do this instead because you should be doing that. That's what discipline is. But I don't have discipline. You could, you just don't. It's not really that hard. It's just making a better choice. It's not going to be the easiest choice because it's otherwise everyone would have, everyone would have muscles and everyone would look the same way. You wouldn't have fat acceptance because everyone would just look the way they wanted to. All right, let's see. From Jonathan, hell fucking right. Just did yin for total body 6 and crushed 1 pound of grass-fed burgers with raw Swiss cheese and raw honey on top to fuel my Saturday morning. Back and buy Maximum Swole session from John. Woo! Oh, look at you. Yow. Look at you.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
All right. Goodness gracious. Good for you, John. We got some raw, we tried a couple different places. We got some raw cheeses and the raw Swiss was disgusting. Hopefully your raw Swiss cheese was truly raw. Well, not nice. Not nice. We like the raw cheddar, but the Swiss was, it was just really not a good taste. Not a good taste. But hopefully, everyone's got different tastes for things, but as long as it's raw, but yeah, we didn't like it. Maybe it's more acquired, but it didn't have the taste of acquisition. It wasn't an acquisition taste. It was more like a, I'll stick with this one instead. Strong. But yeah, good man. Sounds delicious and nutritious. All right, let's move into some knowledge cock. Excellent shares. Thanks for responding to the emails. And when you do get the emails, make sure that you do respond. So if something hits you a certain way, you have something to add. If you just want to say, fuck yeah, I love this email. Great. I love the knowledge cock. Stretch me out, daddy. Just reply. I'm looking for that. I want to reply. So, lube up, open up the email, and then let me know what you think. Okay, we got a question here. If you have a question live right now, hashtag AskPapaSolio, drop that in the chat down below. Lynn Kranke. All right. On Instagram, how heavy should I go before I use a belt? I don't want to look stupid by wearing one with light weight. You don't have to wear a belt. A belt doesn't prevent you from injury. It can help you create pressure in your thoracic or thoraco-abdominal cavity or your abdominal cavity, but it's not going to prevent you from an injury. It might guide you to have a flatter back or kind of cue you a little better too. But I mean, if you're going to wear a belt, you really only need to, if you're going to use one, only for like your heaviest sets to failure and stuff like that. But I rarely wear a belt. Sometimes I'll fuck around with it depending, but I don't use one primarily. Some people don't, some people do, but I personally wouldn't wear one on lighter sets. But a lot of people also don't wear one properly. They put it in the wrong place or they over tighten it. It's really something that should be used more of a guide for lining your body up, but it depends on what you're doing. I'm not a big belt fan, but I have one and I use it on occasion. I would only use it for your max sets or to failure. People that are just standing around, like these fitness influencers that are doing shoulders and wearing a belt, that is retarded. It's keeping my waist small. No, it's not. No, it's not. Nick, did you see my post in the Swole Fam chat where someone totally copied your logo? Meaning what? I don't know what that means. What was copied? Which logo? Joe, Papa Soy, do you eat the watermelon rind? Like the green part or the white part? I'll eat the watermelon. I'll eat it down to the sides. But I'm not going to like eat the white part. But I mean, I will. Depends on how it tastes. Sometimes watermelon's not that sweet. So you're eating even the, reddish, pinkish part. And it's like, doesn't have much flavor. It's not that sweet. If you don't get a good one. It happens now and again. But I definitely scrape and I get the watermelon off the sides. Yeah. All right, let's see. Loretta, I can't wait. I can't wait till I make my first homemade cheese. I'm sure some will be a little suspect. Yeah, I haven't made cheese or yogurt or anything like that. I haven't made cheese or yogurt. I'm not going to fuck with that. I'm not going to fuck with that. Let's see. 401 Beam Beam. 401 Beam Beam. Beam Beam asks question. Beam Beam. After a long low calorie deficit, what's a low calorie deficit? How can I boost my metabolism again? I lift 6 times a week. I think people use the term metabolism too loosely. I don't think people really know what that means. I don't think people really...
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it
Boost
means.
your metabolism, what your body's not using energy. Like, that's not how it works. So I don't know what a low calorie deficit, like a little bit of a calorie deficit or a big calorie deficit, like a huge, like what exactly is going on? What are you trying to do? Are you lifting 6 days a week? Why? A lot of people do calorie cutting when they shouldn't, or they eat too little and they're not focusing on building muscle enough. I don't know. The whole bulking and cutting stuff is kind of like, if you're getting on stage, it makes sense to bulk and cut. When I say bulk, it means just slight surplus and slight deficit. It's not that much. You don't need that much. A lot of people bulk or quote unquote bulk for a month and then they cut. That's not long enough. If you're trying to put on muscle for a month or two and then you're cutting, you didn't build any muscle. You're just putting on some fat and water, then you're losing it. You're just going back to where you started. So people underestimate dramatically how long it takes to build muscle. They mistake body weight for muscle. They step on a scale, they see the numbers going up and they're getting stronger and they look a little more puffy in the mirror because it's evenly distributed. And they're putting on more water and fat than they realize. It takes years to build muscle. So if you're gaining muscle or working on building muscle, do so for months and months and months. I would say don't do anything less. If you're trying to put on size, don't do anything less than probably like 6 months or something like that. You need to put in the work. It's really hard to build muscle. So, I mean, why are you boosting your metabolism? Like, what do you mean? I just don't know. And I'm not saying this to be insulting. Like, boost your metabolism? What, you're dead? Your body's not using energy anymore? Just, you're trying to gain again? It's like, why'd you cut? You're doing a calorie deficit. Why are you You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what you're asking. I know it's an Instagram question, so I'm just kind of talking on the subject. If I don't have enough information, I'm just trying to give some value to the topic and then maybe generate some stuff in the live chat. But you really don't need more than a few hundred calories as long as you're eating enough protein, you're eating, quality fats, and you're in a slight deficit or surplus. And if you're getting really granular with it, yeah, it's a good idea to get an idea of what you're consuming, but not all calories are equal. Not everything's being used as energy. There is room and margin of error. And what's your goal? How can I boost my metabolism again? Like, what's happening? I don't know what's happening there. Steve Panacci. Papa Swolio, my wife is a teacher, and she says she has no time to go to the fucking gym, but I'm trying to convince her to come with me. Any advice? Well, just straight up, Mrs. Steve, if you're listening, the no time thing is a lie. So that's not true. Steve, are you leasing or do you own? You know what I'm saying? So you said wife. So it sounds like you own. Because if you're just leasing, it's like, you trade that shit in. So anyway, in all seriousness, that's just not the case. You have no time. There's 24 hours in the day. I've worked ridiculous shifts. I've done 7 to 11:30 at night. 7 in the morning to 11:30 at night. And I trained. I was fucking exhausted. Of course, I taught personal training at school, so I had the gym. I was there, but still, I was tired. Like, you're just engaged all day. You're psychologically plugged in. You're doing a lot of work. You're managing classrooms. It's a lot. So I've done that shit. But she absolutely has time to go to the fucking gym. But you got to go first. So she's a teacher. I don't know what time the school starts or whatever it is, but you can go first. I know school starts early. But gyms are open early too. There are 24-hour gyms. You could train at home. You could train for half an hour. You get on a solid program and do it every day for half an hour. Yeah, you'll have to work the habit in, but there's always time. Gyms open a lot of times at 5:30. No school starts before, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't even know anymore. What would I know? I mean, it depends on what age group, right? So, I mean, high school, it was stupid, by the way. I'm trying to remember high school. I think it started at 7:50. I think my high school, when I was in high school, late 90s, it was like, I think it was 7:50. I remember that. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't know what time it is now. In my opinion, way too fucking early. Way too early. There's no reason, and it really makes me cringe. It really makes me cringe seeing kids on the side of the road. I remember in the winter, standing outside freezing at the bus stop in the dark. That's some fucked up shit. That's really fucked up. Especially when kids need better sleep. And then you're making look, and I'm just going to rant on this a little bit, so kind of off the topic from what Steve was saying, but you have children. You have children that are being bogged down with bullshit fucking homework. You're at school all fucking day. You're at school from like 7 to like 2 or 3 o'clock. Then you're giving them all this homework. Like, there's no time for play, no time for activities, no time for exercise, no time for shit. They're cutting gym, they're eating garbage food. And then they have to, so they're not getting good sleep because they're staying up all night, doing all this fucking homework and shit. And then they have to be up at like 5, 6. They're not getting sleep. You're stunting their growth. You're negatively affecting their ability to concentrate. You're teaching them useless shit in school. It's a prison. Anyway, that's high school. But it's silly. It's silly. Yeah, and the hockey stuff. Hockey's always like, get up at 3 a.m. I don't understand why the hockey stuff was stupid like that. Why is hockey dumb like that? Why is it first thing that... Do it after school. Get over it. The rinks. Yeah, well, the rinks rent out. Then have them not do that. I don't know. It's just that was always the dumbest thing. I remember hockey, they were always up at like 2 a.m. or something ridiculous. Super expensive, right? It's like $1,000 to get all the pads and the skates. Super expensive. Anyway, whatever. But look, I mean, honestly, on a good rant note, if our future is our kids, which it is, why aren't we really focusing on giving them the best sleep, the best nutrition, the best education? Why don't we? It's like an afterthought. Oh, just get up early and go stand by the bus and just teach them in the school. Oh, get rid of PE, just have them sit in the classrooms, give them garbage food. It's pretty sick, isn't it? It's pretty fucking sick. So you say, oh, the kids are the future. Well, they're not treated that way. They're treated like you don't give a shit about the future. They're treated like, well, you know, that's their future. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm busy. I have to go to work. It doesn't, right? I was talking about in the pre-roll when we were talking about Ash's post. Seems like it's the opposite. Actions speak louder than words, right? You can say they're the future and you love your kids and all that stuff. It doesn't seem like it's actually that way. Just saying. All right, let's take some more questions. All right, real motherfucker number one. Shit, motherfucker, shit. Papa Swole, yo, do you need a lot of protein to bulk, motherfucker? Yes. Now, a lot of protein depends on your perception of what a lot is, right? If you have more lean mass, you're a bigger person, you're going to need more protein. So there's that. And remember, as you're gaining muscle and as you're getting bigger, you're going to need more protein to just maintain and even more to grow. So as you're growing, a lot of people don't actually increase the amount that they're consuming over time. So just keep that in mind. Yes, you do. And also the quality proteins. Stop eating soy burgers and shit like that. You know, plant-based protein, you're not absorbing it. You're not absorbing it to the capacity that you will with animal protein. So quality protein matters. Everyone thinks like, oh, look at this garbage Rice Krispies. Well, there's 2 grams of protein. Don't add that. You're eating trash. That protein is not like legitimate protein that you're going to utilize. It's not a complete amino acid. It's not a complete protein. It's not bioavailable. It's just listed there by default. And people don't realize the compound structures of how many different proteins there are. There's just thousands of different proteins. Just to call something a protein is very generic. There are a lot of proteins out there. All right. Dodger Girl Missy. Let's see here. Dodger Girl Missy. Best stretch for tight hamstrings. Well, it depends on if the hamstrings are actually tight. A lot of times they're just very weak and overstretched. So I would recommend doing mobility with resistance. Of course, you could practice yoga, but strengthen your hip flexors. Do Jefferson curls, do single leg hamstring curls. Nordic curls are fantastic. Yoga is fantastic, of course. But doing the mobility that we have in our masterclass series, the hip, ankle, and knee mobility masterclasses, and doing those types of light loads to a full range of motion is excellent for mobilizing the hips. A lot of people think they have tight hamstrings. They just have very, very weak and overstretched hamstrings, and they have very tight hip flexors and weak hip flexors. Most people are weak everywhere. But the problem is when you have weakness, you also have, if you have a shortness of a muscle around a joint, you also have a comparable complementary tightness or shortness. So weak and tight is different than like short and lengthened. So if you have muscles that are over shortened and muscles that are over lengthened, you're going to have an imbalance, but they're both weak. So people don't understand that weak doesn't mean, or short doesn't mean strong, and lengthened, over lengthened doesn't mean, like short doesn't mean strong, and over length and length doesn't mean, weaker. So you have to mobilize, loosen up that tissue, loosen up those areas, mobilize the joints, but also strengthen both sides. You want all sides of the joint being strong. You want the inside of your hips, your adductors to be strong and mobile, and you want the adductors or the abductors to be strong and mobile. You want the quads and the hip flexors to be strong and mobile. And you want the hamstrings and the glutes to be strong and mobile. So people that just stretch, right? People that just stretch, guess what? You're temporarily loosening it. You're inhibiting it for a little bit. It might improve a little bit over time, but you're not increasing the strength, and you're going to have recurrence of injuries, and it's just going to go right back because you have the same patterns. You're doing a little more stretching, but you're not doing strengthening, and that's the big thing. All right. All right, let's see. More questions. If you've got questions, drop it in comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Thank you for questions. President Kokum? President Kokum?
What the fuck is that?
What can I eat to stay super lean? Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I want to change my life with my diet. Well, that's not how you change your life. That's how you improve your health. I guess that will improve your life. But what can I eat to stay super lean? It's not really what you can eat. Can you get leaner by eating garbage food? Sure, but you're going to have nutrient deficiency. So I would check out our content, the elimination diet, and start there. Okay, Aubrey Tranchel. Papa Swolio, how do you stay motivated when in a bad place mentally? You keep momentum. So motivation isn't really a thing. Yes, I know it has a definition. Is it a thing? But you shouldn't worry about it. It's really about doing what you need to do regardless of how you feel. So you have to disconnect from your feelings. It doesn't mean that you don't have feelings. A lot of people lean into the feelings things, but your feelings are really irrelevant. What do you need to do today? Oh, I don't feel good about that. I always use the example like in the videos and stuff. When you take a shit, Aubrey, do you feel like wiping your ass when you take a shit? Well, Papa Swole, I have a bidet. Do you feel like cleaning your asshole after you take a shit? Does that even occur to anyone? Well, I don't feel like wiping today. I'm just saying. I know it's like, ew, that's gross. Think about it. Do you feel, I don't feel motivated to wipe my ass right now. So you just close it and you have like sandwich shit butt? I don't think so. Methinks not. So motivation doesn't factor in. You need to poop. You need to clean your butthole so you don't have shit butt. It's not like, I don't feel motivated. Do I feel motivated? I don't feel motivated to wipe my ass. It doesn't work like that, right? So now, use that for training. Use that for eating properly. How do you stay motivated? You do the things that you need to do because it's time to do them. And you will avoid those bad places mentally. You're creating this yourself. I'm not a psychologist or the like. I'm not going to prescribe to you some kind of bullshit pill. But if you're getting exercise, you have purpose. You're doing things for the right intention. You're training hard. You're putting yourself through struggle. Like take a cold shower, do a cold plunge. Fantastic for mental health. Meditate more. Go, like I said, go get sunlight, go for a walk, create good habits. And they will keep those bad places mentally, right? Those bad places from coming in. When people don't do anything and don't take care of themselves, everything's a bad place. You're physically in a bad place. Mentally, you're just like wallowing in your own thoughts. Challenge yourself. Take care of yourself. Push yourself. Motivation has nothing to do with it. It's habits. Habit. Do these things. It will be better. And there's that. Okay. Wipe your ass. Radhanath Dasa. Radhanath Dasa. 108. Mr. Radhanath. Radhanath. Radhanath Dasa. Radhanath Dasa. What's your name? My name is Radhanath Dasa. What's your opinion on protein shakes? What are the best, quote, health-wise? Also, do you love me? I don't love you. I don't know you. That'd be weird. I love you. I don't love you. I appreciate the question, though. Protein shakes, if you're going to use a protein, like I consume a lot of food and raw dairy and stuff. I love kefir. I do think that you can get high quality grass-fed whey proteins. In many cases, like concentrate is less processed, but you're gonna have to test and see what works best for you. But really, anyone should be focusing more on the whole food sources first. Don't just go right to a protein shake. Now, I think if you're lifting heavy weights and you're eating frequently and you need more protein, it's challenging to get that much with whole food. It is. It really is. But most people don't need to. Okay? Most people don't need to. They need to focus on the fundamental foods first. But if you're going to go that route, yeah, it's going to be more expensive, but you also don't want to be sucking down heavy metals. There are grass-fed whey proteins out there that are third-party tested that, don't have any of these additives that are unflavored. Yeah, you don't want soy lecithin. You don't want sunflower lecithin. You don't want these stabilizers and these things that make it easy to mix. It's not going to taste like a rainbow jizz sickle in your mouth, but you're also not getting tons of stevia and sucralose and aspartame and all the shit that is usually pumped full in these proteins. So, you know. So look, if you're training hard, you need protein. But of course, again, this is why we call it a supplement. The best protein's real bull milk. If you can get the real bull milk, just take that in by the pound. But it's a supplement. There's a reason why these things are called supplements, but people look at them as, in general, they look at them as, you know, the main attraction. But a supplement means in addition to. So make sure you get your nutrition in order first, and then you can test and see what of those things might work for you. Yeah, no artificial chemicals. I would agree with that, Lacey. Tuna, I wouldn't recommend people eating tuna, but yogurt, like the yogurt that we get, it's mostly, if it's whole fat yogurt, you're not getting as much protein as like ultra processed yogurt. So when I have yogurt, you know, it's much more fat. So you have to take that into account too. I like kefir, and I'll blend something up with kefir after a workout, maybe some fruit in the kefir, some honey, and you can put in some grass-fed whey. But there's a couple, there's one that, because, you know, every once in a while I'll test things because I want to recommend something that like maybe doesn't bother my stomach, and I'll play around with different things depending on how hard I'm training. I'll play around with sometimes adding some grass-fed whey, and finding one was always an issue. Jack up my stomach because sometimes it's just not quality, or maybe the way it's made or the way it mixes. But, you know, I have found a couple really good ones. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend plant-based proteins at all. People that are asking about that, I wouldn't recommend that at all. Just for the bioavailability, the absorption, the glyphosate, you want protein that's going to be a much higher quality, in my opinion. I'm not a fan, but, you know, of course, people are going to do what they're going to do. Amanda, did you just say honey? How many times do you say not to mix with honey? I say it can compromise maybe some of the probiotics in there. I'm not sure how much, though, and I usually don't. Sometimes after a workout I will, but I've usually already consumed kefir in the morning, just straight. That was just like an idea, because raw honey is usually like a natural, you know, antibiotic, but it's not like a natural antibiotic kills all bacteria. It can just be more neutralizing. So when you use that logic, would you mix it in? Is it going to neutralize how much honey? Right? If you have like this much kefir and like this much honey, is that little much honey going to destroy? Is it going to neutralize? Yeah, to an extent. And I usually just said, you know, of course, a lot of people that are putting honey in are putting in lower quality honey. So just keep that in mind. That was usually when I say that, it's just using logic. There might be some compromising nature to it, but I don't think it's going to ruin it or neutralize it. Yeah, no tuna. Usually the tuna, honestly, foods from the sea, it's just very low quality. There's a lot of toxins and a lot of damage, you know, when it comes to the oceans, even in, you know, Atlantic salmon, and just, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's more pervasive in the oceans. And yes, you have mercury, but also the cans, the lining in the cans and things like that. Plus, it tastes like shit. In my opinion, it tastes like shit. I've also been, and I wouldn't eat that anymore. I mean, sardines can be a much better option, in my opinion, but I've eaten so much tuna in my life, like 25 years, you know, when it was hardcore bulking season, I didn't have any money and I was just eating tuna too much. So I'm also like scarred from ever having tuna again. Aside from it being gross. I mean, if you're talking about canned tuna versus, you know, you go get high quality sushi and it's tuna, it's going to taste different. Everyone's got different taste buds, though. Yeah, well, sardines taste so much better. Yeah, some of those things are acquired taste. I haven't had sardines in a while either, but yeah. So when it comes down to taste, well, that's very subjective, right? I mean, Amanda sitting here criticizing sardines doesn't like watermelon. So we know Amanda's taste buds are completely ass backwards. We know, like, I don't trust anything. I don't trust any of your lingual receptors. I don't trust any of that feedback. Anything that has to do with taste, just, you know, take what Amanda says when it comes to taste with like a cup of salt. Just got to run it through that filter of insanity. She's got colored hair too. I wonder if that's affecting like the part of your brain that receives taste. Blasphemy. How dare you?
How dare you?
All right. In all seriousness, that's ridiculous. Any questions? Any other questions? Anything at the buzzer? But again, anyone that's like questioning some of these things, test it, right? When it comes to a grass-fed whey protein, like test it. But remember, in order to test foods or to test how you feel with certain things, one, like sometimes when you have research or evidence that shows that some of these things could be contaminated, this and the other, it's better to make a logical decision to not roll the dice on that. So sometimes when it comes to tuna, when it comes to other things, once in a while, will it harm you? Maybe, maybe not. But you also have to like, you don't want to put yourself at risk that's unnecessary. So if you can make a choice A versus choice B, and both being the same, both being equal, A is not shown to be anything with complications, and B has a lot of evidence out there that it's sketchy as hell, probably better off going with A. But also when it comes to anything else, when you're more consistent, you can't really test foods and test your reactions and test how you feel unless everything is really on point. So people that are doing all sorts of different things, fluctuating day to day, they're eating all sorts of different things, are not really on point. You can't really test anything because you're not going to notice the nuances of changing one individual thing. So the more consistent you are over time, the more you'll be able to notice, hey, when I tweak this, when I adjust this, when I add a little bit more here, when I do this a couple hours earlier, a couple hours later, you'll be able to notice more. So the more consistent you are, the better you are with that. All right, let's get into some balls deep content. Gorilla time. That's deep. Let's get into some fucking deep. Let's go. Let's get those balls slapping. Slapping the balls. Slapping the bass. Slapping the balls. All right. Okay, this one makes me want to, yeah, these are, yep. Oh, these make me want to hang myself for sure. For sure. Let's do this first one. It's short and it's probably the most cringe thing I've ever seen in terms of like the cover. Let's see how this goes. It's called I'm Carby Girl. Oh.
You make me happy.
I see the, and I'm like, I want to. Like, this makes me just want a 5-finger death punch to my fucking taint. All right, here we go. Carby Girl.
I'm a carby girl in a diet-obsessed world. Bread's fantastic, need pants with elastic. The oven is my lair, warm bread and butter, yeah. Inflammation, bagel obliteration. Come on, carby, let's go eat. I'm starving.
Shut up, bitch.
Next video. I saw this one. Let's do that one last. I saw this. I actually, before we went live, I saw something like this on a website. Someone shared it and super cringe. But Let me play it. I don't know if some of you saw this one, but there's a couple different reasons. I don't know if she's going to say it in the video, but I did see it in an article. So let's check this out. It's called Too Many Flags. Too Many Flags.
What's in the box?
Too many flags. Like this one? Like that one?
I'm just going to say it. There are too many American flags.
Nope.
Like, they're on houses, they're on cars.
Yep.
Saw them on couch cushions.
Let's go.
Like, I don't know who's making these American flags, but they'd be making a bloody fortune. I'm like, you're the only country
China.
that I know that does this. Like, the only time I think I've ever seen an Australian flag is like on the Harbour Bridge.
Okay.
Could not tell you what it looks like. Like,
you guys also like concentration camps and restricted freedoms, and you don't like being free. You cannot tell what it looks like. You sound like because maybe you're stupid. Maybe you're stupid. Your toilet water swirls the other direction, so that answers questions.
I know it's like blue and it's got some stars on it, but I think I could draw the American flag from memory. Like, I think I could make a bloody sculpture out of it.
You could draw a flag from memory. It's got stars and it's got these red and white stripes. It's a very complicated flag, by the way. Very complicated. You have like a square. You have the stars representing the states, and you have the 13 original colonies with the stripes. Very complicated. Red, white, blue.
That's how many times I've seen it. It's enough. Let's pull back on it, okay? Let's stay humble.
Stay humble. This is why. First off, Miss Penal Colony over there, your country was founded by prisoners. So people that that the British colonies didn't want, they just dropped off in Australia. So that's your heritage. That being said, Britain's bitch. The American flag is it's not even enough. It's not even enough. Not even close. Not even close. You know, aside from this, a lot of people say this. I mean, if you don't like the American flag, go to New York City, go to San Francisco. I'm sure you'll see lots of rainbows. But can you imagine going to a country and just like criticizing, like, there's so many flags here. If I go to Argentina, I see Argentinian flags all everywhere. It's so interesting. You are in Argentina, right? If you're in another country, you're probably going to see things you're probably going to see cultural things from that country. If I go to France, I probably will see more French flags than I would in the United States. I don't know why, though. Why would I see French flags in France? Well, anyway, I have a feeling we're going to start seeing like the Chinese flag in Australia real soon. Okay. Maybe you like that flag. Anyway, whatever. Silliness. It's just silly. It's silly. I mean, when's the last time anyone ever took something that an Australian said seriously? The crocodile hunter, right? Steve Irwin is like the last time, like, you know, I believe it. If Steve said something. Aside from that, it's like, yeah. What else you got down there? Crikey. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just trolling a little bit, but yeah, that's just obviously she doesn't speak for everyone. Just like we won't have any. Well, I would say. I'd just say she doesn't speak for everyone. Just like we don't have mentally disabled spokespersons for this country, but you know.
Come on, man.
Actually, I take that back. You know, I think it's just clown world, but. Crocodile Dundee. Anyway, yeah, you go to the United States, there's too many flags. Wrong country to complain about that. I don't know. Weird. Now, this one's called Test Transformation. Oh, boy. All right. Grab your genitalia. Make sure you got them kibbles and bits ready. This is going to be a wild, bumpy ride. Let's preface.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Great. All right, let's see what we got here. And then we're going to get a throwback. We'll give away the swole card. Strange. Here we go. Test transformation. What's it gonna be, fam?
What's in the box?
You never know which direction it's gonna go. Get it? Get it? All right, let's see what we got here.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Ains. I use he, him pronouns, and this is my first day on testosterone.
Did you say AIDS? Hold on a second. Oh, Ains. I was like, that actually makes sense. Okay, let's do it again.
Hi, my name is Ains. I use he,
Okay.
him pronouns, and this is my first day on testosterone.
Ains? That's an interesting name. My name's Ains. Use he, him pronouns. I'm not going to do that. That's insane. You're a pretty girl. Or, you look like you're a pretty man. This is so weird.
Today is
Oh.
my 4th week on T.
So even though I'm like 7.5 weeks on T,
It's been 11 weeks on T.
and this is my 4th month on testosterone, I'm gonna make a video of my T-shot routine. So I am 24 weeks on T. I have 2 things to say about testosterone right now. And for reference, I'm about to be 9 months on testosterone. Hey, it has now been 10 months on testosterone, and this is my voice. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the most recent changes that I've experienced, things that I feel like wait until a little bit later, like close to your 1-year mark, or at least that's how it's happened for me. So I've been getting a lot of like cystic acne, especially around here right now, and it has more to do with like there are more ingrown hairs than it is cystic acne, because like my facial hair is like starting to come in, so like around my mustache and my beard I've been getting cystic acne. My hair had slowly gotten curlier, but in the last like month it's like really ramped up and gotten a lot curlier. Like I have like ringlets in the back and stuff like that, so that's really fun. My body hair has gotten significantly darker in the last month, which is like absolutely crazy. And my favorite thing is that my voice has like settled a bit, so like I can sing more and my voice doesn't crack as much. When I get excited, my voice doesn't crack. But yeah, those are all of my exciting tea updates. Have a wonderful day.
Let's see. Lacey in the Telegram chat says, why is it okay for, well, I'll be nicer than that, for them to take testosterone, but it's not allowed for building muscle? They always preach how unhealthy it is. Isn't that interesting? People are prescribing this to like young people, even children, but it's, illegal, doctor prescription, but taking testosterone for building muscle, but you can just give it to chicks that want to be men or that wish they were. You can want all you want. You can want, but you're not a man. I don't know how old that person was. Did AIDS say, whatever the name is, say how old? No, we never got an age on that. We never got an age. Yeah. Yeah. Joe says men not gatekeeping acne. Yeah. Just like women with their periods. Any dudes want to wish to give up their acne to other people? Yeah, you remember that. You go through puberty and stuff. You start breaking out more and stuff like that. Hormones going nuts. Nick says, Papa, they claim they aren't giving it to children. Ah, yes, that's right. I forgot. I believe everything people say. On face value. Whatever they say, I believe it 100%. You're right. Andrew, GTTFG and get free tea. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Right. The only thing is, like, there's some really sad things about that. I don't know how old this person is, but when do you think that regret for not being able to have kids when you're alone and you have 15 cats that you wish you reproduced? I mean, this is when the camera's on. I guarantee this person, look, and here's the thing, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If you are promoting that this is making you happier, this is me, you're documenting it, you're only documenting the positive aspects of it, right? And if you talk about how happy you are or how amazing it is, X, Y, and Z, enough, and you put that out there, you're just trying to make yourself believe it a lot of times. So it's like this reinforcing thing. You're not taking, when you're at your low periods, when your hormones are crashing, and they do explain that when you're on testosterone, especially for women or all this transition stuff, that your energy and feelings and like that euphoria because of this, gender or like this puberty anxiety. You get this rush and you feel really good in a good mood. But of course that settles down. That settles down over time. Like that euphoria settles down. And usually it might take 5 years or 10 years or in the future. Same thing with, very much so, like with veganism. How many times people go vegan and they say they feel amazing and they change their profile and everything's vegan, vegan, vegan for like a couple of years. And you can go a long period, right? People do fucking crystal meth. People trash their bodies and still come out the other side. Not saying you should do that, but the human body is very resilient in order to like survive. So if you are vegan for a few years, you have plenty of time. You have 3, 4, 5 years maybe of promoting this and telling people how great it is. And you're such a good person and you're virtue signaling and X, Y, and Z. And eventually you fall off of that, or you get caught eating meat, or you have to come back off, or you have to start eating meat for your health. And then you lose all your following and you lose all the people and they hate you because you're abandoning the veganism because it's an ideology. It's not really in the pursuit of optimal health. So it plays out, right? It plays out. Unfortunately, it plays out. Anyone here watching live, I'm not sitting here wishing ill on this person. How long was it said voice update 10-month edition. So let me go to the end and just, so 10 month, fam, 10 months, 10 months. Think about that for a second. 10 months. I want to see the 48-month edition. I want to see the 60-month update. I want to see the 10-year update. Wait till those updates start coming around. If they're still around, right? Suicide rates through the fucking roof. Trying to retransition, going off this stuff. The hormone swings after you get past that initial few months of euphoria from taking testosterone. Everyone feels that. That's why people like to take anabolics and stuff. But anyone that's taken anabolics or knows someone or knows about it, right? You take it for a while, depending on how much you take, you go off it. And sometimes you have that crash and you have that low mood, and that's why you have to be careful with what happens with like elevated estrogen, and people take aromatase inhibitors and stuff like that. You get like, nipples or nipple fat and gyno and stuff like that. And people can come off and get all this like hormone and imbalances because they go off too quickly or they take too much and they don't do it properly. Like you hear these stories all the time, roid rage and this, but it's like hormone imbalances. You're artificially fucking with your hormones and your body will find a new normal. And guess what? Like anything else, after a while, you're not going to have that euphoria from taking the same amount of tea, right? You're taking whatever it is that they're giving you and prescribing you. And then after a while, you're not going to feel that anymore. You get that little boost and then all of a sudden it's the same, right? So that levels off and then you have more like, and then regret and then thoughts. And then what if you stop getting likes? What if you stop getting this pat on your back? Because let's say, what's going to happen too? And, we've talked about how this is going to be bad in like 5, 10. It's going to be brutal. It already is. You have a lot of detransitioners or people that are trying to, you can't really, but what about here? Okay. So check this out. This is also going to be feeding in because it's already happening. Okay. So the trans thing was like a big push, right? Now where people are starting to like pull back from it, and you're having more people talk, not out against people, but this insanity and this promotion of doing this to little kids and gender grooming and shit like that. But when you have more and more people claiming trans or non-binary and stuff like this, right? At first, you get a lot of attention. You get a lot of hashtag and everyone's like, oh, you're so brave. Dylan Mulvaney. Now you have all the backlash from that. And it's starting to come back, right? That boomerang's starting to come back. So what happens when you're the first trans or the first person? You get a lot of publicity. How many people that are like claiming trans now are all of a sudden blowing up? Dylan Mulvaney did because guess what? You're early to a trend, right? That's like a real grifter, right? You're early to a trend, desperate for attention, doing whatever it can, trying to level it up, take it to the next level, take it to the next level, right? Now you're not the first anymore. Now you have, let's say, hundreds or thousands. So guess what? Trends get played out. I've been doing the social media game for a while. Trends get played out. Attention shifts. When you're one of one, whoa, you're so brave. You're so wonderful. All the attention, all the likes, all the views. Now, when you have people doing all this stuff and it's distributed across 100,000 people and you're getting a little views and you're not getting attention, people are bored with it. And then the real truth starts to break through, like it will crack the ice. You're going to have a lot of dark times when you're not getting views and you're doing all this stuff and people don't care anymore and you start getting more negative comments and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be a fucking hard fall. So a lot of people that are doing this, they can't go back. As time goes on, this is going to fall. It's just going to be lost in the noise. You're just another person that got grifted. You just got swindled. You got swindled. Some doctors made some more money on writing some more testosterone scripts and puberty blockers, some woke neo-Marxist trash. That's it. So think about it, right? When it was new, and I know it's still new, it's always been insane. But now when it's more prevalent, it becomes less special, right? A lot of people do this for attention. Kids do this for attention. They're desperate for teachers' attention, for elderly people's attention, for social acceptance. But what happens when everyone's doing it? Like, it just becomes, it's not novel anymore. It's not novel anymore. So what happens when the novelty completely collapses? It's going to be a big fall. It's going to be a big fall. A lot of mental disorder. Like, that's all. It's a cover. It's a cover for all these mental disorders. And it's a permanent cope. You can't go back from this. You can't detransition. That's the whole point. You can't. You can't. You can, like, socially or logically or talk about it, but the permanent changes, that's done. I cut off my tits and I burned out my ovaries. Well, I'm detransitioning. It doesn't work like that. The transition doesn't work like that. So the detransition doesn't work like that. That's my point, Maddie. Yeah. Maddie says people are going to transition, not get the attention they wanted and realize they fucked up. It's like anything else. People do things for the wrong reasons, right? They live a certain way. They buy certain cars, certain clothes. They try to do things that they think they should do based on what other people do to give them status. That's what it is. It's status seeking. Kids want status seeking. Societies want status seeking. That's how we organize our structure. That's why that's why communism doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work. Because, you're always going to have people on top. You're always going to have, the wealthy or the poor. You're always going to have the high status and the lower status. It's always going to be like that. That's hierarchical structure. It's always going to be like that. But that's why meritocracy is valuable. And that's why having more people and having a diverse culture and sense of interest and like maximizing skills. That's why individuality is important, because you have people that are really passionate about doing woodworking. You have people that are passionate about engineers. You want people to max out their strengths in the field that they're best at doing. So what are you good at? Get the best at that. And then you have and then you're able to, specify and create a lot in society. If everyone was doing everything, everyone would have to farm, everyone would have to fish, everyone would have to hunt, everyone would have to build houses. So everyone would be kind of like only be able to they have to do everything for themselves. So you don't have a lot of technology because people don't have time to specialize. Everyone has to do everything, and you barter and like, oh, maybe some people are like basic individualization. Some people have a chicken farm. They focus on that. So they trade that for beef. Okay. But as you have more technology and more individualization, you got people that really focus on computer code, and certain people that really focus on making better materials for building, like steel, like specific things. You can specialize, and then we all benefit from it. So anyway, where was that? Yeah, that's why this kind of stuff, everyone being the same and everyone being like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You need a meritocracy. You need people to excel. But this is a way to get status. This is a way to get attention. And you get status from your peers. You get status from society. You're being hailed in the media. You're like, all your teachers like, oh, you're so brave. Such a wonderful person. Are you really being brave? What this bravery means is like, oh, you're such a good little brainwashed child, right? We got you. You're so brave. It's being used as like, that's not bravery. You've been manipulated. That's not bravery. Bravery is being scared as shit and then running into a fire to save some children. That's fucking bravery. That's courage, action in the face of fear, in the face of imminent danger. So, we've done a great job in bastardizing words and completely misusing and manipulating language and taking away from, true heroism and true hard work and success, right? Because, it's capitalist or it's evil or it's blah, blah, blah. It's none of those things. It's none of those things. So just see it for what it is. Read your history. This doesn't end well. It's not going to end well. It's not going well. And, unfortunately, it's going to just get much, much worse, especially as the attention decreases. Because let's say you have even more, trans explodes even more. No one's going to care. You see what I'm saying? So here's my point. If everything is good, then nothing is good. Because something is good only relative to bad. We're not talking about a moral good. We're talking about like, hey, this is beneficial. Like you're having a great day. You might always have a great day, but then what's a great day? Or what's great relative to something that's not? It's always relative. Otherwise, it's just a day. So, oh, it's an amazing day today relative to something else. Because if you're giving it some sort of rating or some sort of value, then it has to be, it's only that relative to something else. You only have a hill relative to a valley. Something's only high altitude relative to low altitude. If something's a high altitude, well, it's only high relative to something else. Otherwise, it just is. So if you have everyone that's trans and everyone is trans and gender doesn't matter, then nothing matters. You know, if gender doesn't matter, then how come cutting off your genitals and changing it makes you the opposite thing? If gender doesn't exist, then how is changing it affirm anything? It's like, what are you talking about? So it doesn't, and this is the complicated part, because if your brain is functioning properly, it doesn't make sense. And that's the point. It's not supposed to make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. Either you comply or you're a bigot. Either you comply and agree that 2 + 2 = 5, or you're a bad, meanie, racist, capitalist, white supremacist, and you should be banished and you're a bad person and you're an other. That's it. It's just about complying. It's not about making sense. So if you try to make sense with it, you keep on getting on the circular logic and like, wait, that doesn't fucking make sense. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to make sense, because if you agree to something that doesn't make sense, if you agree to something fundamentally illogical, you take a knee, all you're saying is, oh, thank you, I'll be your bitch. That's all you're saying. Okay? That's the goal, is to get you to comply and to get you to say, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever you say. Because if they can get you to believe that a man is a woman and a woman is a man, then you'll suck anything that comes out of that dick. That's all it is. You will just anything. What you're saying is whatever you say, I'll agree with. That's all it is. So it's complying. It has nothing to do with reality, has nothing to do with truth. Right? The science, my truth, like this, all just nonsense words. That's why they try to break the fundamental back. The men and women thing is the same thing as, that's the same as 1984. It's the same 2 + 2 = 5 argument. 2 + 2 is obviously 4. It's always been 4 mathematically. It's 4. That's it. That's it. Oh, it was invented by white men, so it's supremacist. Nah. But that's the foundation. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. A trans woman is not a woman. A trans man is not a man. That just doesn't fucking make sense. A rock is not a fish. A computer screen is not a carpet. Okay? So when they break that foundational 2 + 2 = 5, the man-woman thing is the same 2 + 2 = 5. It's the same concept. So you break that foundation, then you're owned. And that's literally, if you read, and all the way to the end of 1984, like, you know, Winston's broken. He's broken, you know, and tortured to make, and just brainwashed to believe that, to agree and to go along with it. It's just complying. It has nothing to do with, so if you have to break from that, right? You can't understand these arguments from logic. You can't, because it's not about logic. So once you realize it's not about logic, once you realize it's not about actual truth, then you just think about it. It's about power. It's about complying. It's just about power and control. And then it makes sense. So you have to just to break that paradigm. Let's give away the Swole card, and then we will do a throwback. All right. Hashtag Swole AF. Swole as fuck, Falcon. Give us a little something, something juicy, juicy. My yes. Yes. Swole as fuck. I see a lot of people that are swole as fuck today. Speaking of which, Dylan Higgins, congratulations. Dylan Higgins. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2657 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations, Dylan.
What happened to your queer party?
Let's take some
friends?
soundboard requests. Let's get a little church. Oh my goodness, churchy. Aww. Daddy loves you, my little monkey. And the Tainty Man. The Tainty Man's back, everyone. That's the Tainty Man, everyone. That's a tainty boy. Look at that sleepies. I want to bite your face, tainty boy. I want to bite your little tainty nuggets.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Nice, Chico. Never mind.
Look at those pepper paws. Look at the pepper man. He's got huge beat hooks. Tainty boy. Yeah, he's got big fucking paws. That's my tainty man.
He's on fire!
And my churchy. I am a fucking ass! Come on, stop whining.
Fuck.
And we're back.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
No hands. Coast to coast. Ah, my hand, very nice. Broke. I hit the. Oh. All right, fam. Let's get into a fucking throwback, bitches. Throwback, throwback, throwback. Comment she's responding to says, "Stop eating. Kids are starving somewhere because you stole their McDonald's meal." Okay, that's a savage comment. Let's hear her respond.
Okay, so let me use this comment to just like talk about myself.
It's always about you, isn't it?
For example, I don't make cooking videos much anymore. You wanna know why that is? Because I haven't had 3 meals a day, hardly ever, in like the last year.
Why?
Because of the bullying that I've endured.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
You haven't had 3 meals. First off, that's irrelevant. You know, online bullying has to be read, it has to be consumed. You could turn your comments off. Turn your comments off and post stuff.
You shut that shit off?
Today I had a bowl of pasta.
Today you had a bowl of pasta. Who would have thought that, oh my God, you had a bowl of pasta, doing so great.
I'm so proud of her.
Oh, yeah. I haven't had 3 meals a day. Today I had a bowl of pasta. Oh, my God. Complaining about your weight and complaining. Look, bad habits are bad habits. Yeah, okay. We feel a lot of sympathy for all that. Today I had a bowl of pasta. You don't say. We're all shocked. Very shocked. All right, fam, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. It helps tremendously. The Daily Swole on your favorite app of choice, and join the Swole fam over at swolenormsx.com.
I got hairy legs.
I have hairy legs too, Grandpa Brandon. All right, fam. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. 26:58, probably later in the day. Got some stuff to take care of earlier, but you will get a swole text and you'll be notified. Just expect it later in the afternoon, evening. So that's the plan. Fam, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, McGee, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
that's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's the bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons out closets and making new deposits.